What's up, Norm Macdonald? I'm your guide Q, and today we're looking at some stories that 100% happened, real stuff, actual true events. Last week, my econ professor asked me, Jack, would you rather take $10 million now or receive $10,000 per week for the next 50 years? Without batting an eye, I said, neither. I would rather pay you $10,000 a week. Shocked, he replied, that's insane. No economic model would suggest to do this. Definitely something that an econ professor would say. Insane, I replied. Not at all. If you give me money, I lose my drive. I go soft. I might as well roll over and die. If I give you money, it makes me hungry. I have to grind to make more. I have to hustle. The only thing insane is that more people don't think like me. Hashtag lions don't concern themselves with the opinions of sheep. You know, this sounds ridiculous, but it's actually true. I did this exact thing, started paying my professor $10,000 a week, and I'm now homeless, but I can tell you, I've never been hungrier. I've never been more driven to hustle and grind. Not sure what this was originally about, but somebody says that look of we spent $60,000 on college and that's what you remember? Somebody replies, my very first week of undergrad was how I decided that any future daughter of mine would be attending college online only. I saw parents weep as they dropped their daughter off at the dorms. A few hours later, she was the meat in a dude bro sandwich while 20 people stood around watching. This was my exact college experience. I mean, the second the parents left the dorms after moving in, it was just dude bro sandwiches all over the place. Girls just excited to get their turn, to be applauded by the audience surrounding each dude bro sandwich. And by the end of the first semester, there wasn't a single girl at the school. They'd all dropped out to start OnlyFans careers. There was it's what colleges do to our children. It blows my mind that people look at you weird for dressing nice. Don't let the cover fool you. I will beat your ass in this suit, then kick in your teeth for getting blood on it. Just told this dude, I'm sorry I don't wear pajamas pants in public, but if you want me to skull frick you in a Walmart, look at me and smirk one more time. Thought this motherfucker was gonna cry. I hate this area. Purely aside from the fakeness of this story, can we all agree that it is objectively way less normal to wear a suit in Walmart than pajama pants? Like, pajama pants is my uniform for Walmart. That's what I feel best in. That's where I feel at home in. Today, after a 72-hour shift at the fire station, a woman ran up to me at the grocery store and gave me a hug. When I tensed up, she realized I didn't recognize her. She let go with tears of joy in her eyes and the most sincere smile and said, on 9/11/2001, you carried me out of the World Trade Center. I love how this woman specifies on 9/11/2001, like if she had just said 9/11, he wouldn't have known what she was talking about. Like, oh, 9/11, that kind of reminds me of that tragedy. In 8th grade, me and my buddy did a full-blown project as partners in science class, which we calculated the mass of 10 different girls' tits. Oh my god, we literally got to weigh, use calipers on, and use a ruler on 10 sets of the biggest boobs in the school and got a decent grade on it. The teacher didn't know what we were doing till it was turned on, but didn't say anything about it. It was the best day of my life at that point. It's 203, like, what? That one time, I put a tracker on his car, and when I found out he went to the strip club, I went there, told the girls, and they helped me get ready, and I was the next on stage. Duh, I need more details of this story, sis. When I got on stage, I walked over to him and whispered, you want a show, babe? Watch this show. And I went to every single guy making money while he sat there in utter disbelief and pissed as hell. When I was done, I flipped him off, went off stage, told him we were through and to never speak to me again. Block, delete. Okay, I'm not trying to say that this person is not good looking. They look perfectly good looking, but that picture on the right is the most terrifying image. Like, that is ready. I would put that in a creepypasta thumbnail and be like, done. This is the most terrifying video I've ever made. But aside from that, I don't think this happened. I'm just gonna go ahead and say I don't believe that this was a true event. Dude keeps calling me bro and chuckling, so I overpriced his tattoo, and I'm gonna make it hurt more than any he's ever had. Taking the top layer of his skin off with the razor, wiping with alcohol, needle out and riding the tube, dry paper towel. Dude is in for a world of hurt. I'm wiping with an alcohol-soaked rag and he goes, "Is that alcohol? That shit hurts, brother." So I wiped harder. Like, one, this is insane and is not a good representation of yourself as a tattoo artist. Like, this dude's sin was calling you bro and chuckling? Like, you're gonna need to come up with a better fake justification for why you did this. Also, I love how you throw on the only people I follow or mentioned can reply, so nobody can call you out on how insane this is. Like, why do you think this sounds cool? When people tell me their anxiety is bad, but in 5th grade I stage a robbery in my room that even fooled the police because I couldn't find my iPad and I didn't have the heart to tell anyone. What does this solve? How does this cure your anxiety? So you're telling me you're less anxious to call the police and stage a robbery and have them show up at your house, I don't know, to look for it, or so your parents will have a justification to buy you a new iPad? Like, I don't even get what? My boss pulled me into the office just to tell me that I intimidate my coworkers. Me thinking this was the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, I just stared at her until she apologized. Like, why are we making up these scenarios? When are people going to realize that when you try and sound tough on the internet, it only does the exact opposite of what you want it to appear as? Like, bruh. Black Panther 2 opening night. Movie was okay, but God, was my experience a disaster. I walked up to the counter and they asked me if I was seeing The Fabelmans, and the guy looked at me confused when I said I was here for Black Panther. I was in a theater full of not just a bunch of black people, but Mexicans too, all giving me weird racist looks when I sat down. A Mexican mom walked in with her kids and even asked me if she was in the right theater. And to make matters worse, I was sat next to a Mexican family who kept whispering stuff about me and giving me weird looks. This was just like what happened with the first movie, but even worse. Terrible experience, okay movie. Look out seeing this movie, white people, because you might just get jumped by blacks and also Mexicans too. What subreddit was this posted in? Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, the cashier was shocked that you wanted to see one of the most popular franchises. Like, Black Panther 1 was fucking huge. This one's huge. They're very popular films. Everybody's going to see these shits. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, bro. Didn't peak in high school. Older DJ here. I was DJing at my 25th high school reunion. The class president came up and said, "You really need to play insert indie BS here. It's new. It'll get the crowd going." So I mixed it in and the crowd stopped and stared. I got on the mic and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is a request from your class president. Show some respect." They booed him. I swapped the song and got the floor jumping again. I looked over at him and said, "Some of us didn't peak in high school." He walked away salty AF. Like, maybe it's a possibility that somehow your high school days were worse off, but I would rather have peaked in high school than be making up fake stories about how cool I was at my 25th high school reunion. Like, what, bro? When I told my mom I was having breathing issues and my septum must be deviated, and the only cure was a nose job, then my plastic surgeon scraped a giant rock of snow out of my nostril right in front of her and said, "Bet you can breathe now, honey." Yes, lying to get plastic surgery paid for by your mother and doing drugs is very cool. You're so awesome. This is incredible. I accidentally got my GF addicted to kissing me. For the past month, I, 24 female, have been trying to quit smoking using nicotine mints. This has been awesome for my GF because she has always hated whenever I smoked around her. Over the course of the month, I have constantly had a nicotine mint in throughout the day to help battle cravings, including during fun time. Recently, I've noticed that my GF has been extra lovey, constantly giving me pecks and wanting to make out. I asked her what changed since she had been going a little over the top. She told me, "I don't know. I just get this head rush when I kiss you, and I constantly feel fidgety and anxious, and the only way to stop it is to give you a kiss." Therefore, I've come to the conclusion that I somehow transfer nicotine to her through saliva and have inadvertently gotten her addicted to it. She's now built a mental connection between kissing and the rush from the nicotine. Note, none of this was on purpose, obviously, and I don't know if I should tell her or not. Update 1, going to tell her tonight, we'll send update later. Like, what even is this? Guys, I don't know what to do anymore. I'm lost and, Massive shout out to Starbucks this morning as they gifted me my favorite breakfast, their delicious egg bites with ham and cheese. I drive through pretty much every weekday for a black coffee and egg bites. The cashier at the window today told me that my order was free. I asked why, and the young girl just shrugged her shoulders and said, "Because we can do that." My desire for constant knowledge, and being the super control freak that I am, was not satisfied with this response, so I pushed her a little further. I simply had to know why they decided to gift me these egg bites. There's always a reason for everything. I asked her jokingly whether it was because I buy about 50 eggs from them per week. She blushed a little as she shook her head. I had just about given up on getting a reason why when she passed me my order and said, "It's because you're always so polite." I laughed, a little confused. "Sorry, what?" "We see your car coming and take bets on whether today you'll forget a please or thank you, but you never do. So this is a little thank you for always being happy and polite." I never dreamed in a million years that people who I see for a minute a day would remember my actions and words in that much detail, but it just goes to show that what you do and say has an impact on others. True story. Be nice. Is this like the least busy Starbucks on the planet? Like you're driving there during your commute and you and this cashier having this huge conversation about why they're gifting you the egg bites? Like, I believe that you got free egg bites. I can totally believe that they would give that to a nice customer every once in a while, but we take bets on whether you'll say please or thank you? Like, that's one of the most unhinged statements I've ever heard in my life. You can check out my last video on Redditors who cheat on their partners. They're also cringy and tell a lot of fake stories, or you can check out the last Cringetopia video. Hope everybody's doing super well. Channel members to the left. I will see you super soon. Make sure you're skating on to the best of your abilities, drinking a lot of water. Skate on. Peace out, cum scout.